Have you ever paused to consider how powerful your emotions truly are? Let's embark on a journey to understand the profound influence of these intangible sensations. Emotions, in essence, are our brain's response to various stimuli. They're like the invisible strings that puppeteer our actions, reactions, and decisions. They range from intense feelings of love and joy to those of fear and sadness. These powerful forces can propel us forward or hold us back, depending on how we interpret and react to them. In the vast spectrum of emotions, we find a myriad of shades. Happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, surprise, and anger are typically recognized as the 6 primary emotions, the universal language of human expression. Yet, our emotional landscape is far more nuanced, encompassing complex emotions like guilt, pride, and shame, which often blend to create a unique mosaic of human experience. Each day we ride the roller coaster of emotions, often without realizing how they subtly steer the course of our lives. From the morning coffee that sparks joy to the rush hour traffic that triggers frustration, emotions punctuate our everyday narrative. They're the undercurrent that colors our memories, influencing how we perceive and remember events. Emotions are not just fleeting feelings, they are powerful catalysts. They can motivate us to scale the highest peaks or plunge us into the deepest abyss. They shape our relationships, drive our passions, and even influence our health. Emotions can lead us to the edge of our comfort zone and beyond, pushing us to grow and evolve. Moreover, our emotions serve as our internal compass, guiding us towards what matters most. They signal when something is amiss or when we're aligned with our deepest values. In this sense, emotions are not just experiences to be felt, but messages to be understood. Yet despite their omnipresence, we often underestimate the role of emotions. We overlook their power to transform, to heal, and to connect. We fail to realize that by understanding our emotions, we can harness their power, turning the tide in our favor. Indeed, emotions shape our world in ways we often overlook. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the fascinating world of emotions, helping you unlock the power within. Now that we've established the power of emotions, how well do you know your own emotions? Emotions, those complex psychological states that can either be our greatest allies or our fiercest foes. We all experience them, but how many of us truly understand them? Identifying your emotions is a vital part of this understanding. It's about being able to pinpoint exactly what you're feeling at any given moment. Are you sad or are you just tired? Are you angry or are you actually frustrated? Knowing the difference between these emotions is crucial because each one requires a different approach. You wouldn't treat a heart ailment with a remedy for a headache, would you? Similarly, each emotion has its own remedy, its own unique way of being addressed and managed. Identifying your emotions isn't always easy. It can be like trying to decipher a foreign language. But just as with any language, the more you practice, the more fluent you become. Start by checking in with yourself throughout the day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? This simple question can help you become more aware of your emotional state. Another way to identify your emotions is to pay attention to the physical signs. Emotions often manifest themselves physically. When you're nervous, your heart might race. When you're angry, you might feel a heat rising in your chest. These are signs from your body telling you what you're feeling. Identifying your emotions also requires honesty. It involves facing your feelings head-on, even when they're uncomfortable or painful. It's not about judging your emotions or trying to suppress them. It's about acknowledging them, accepting that they're part of you. Remember, emotions aren't good or bad, they're simply tools, providing you with valuable information about yourself and the world around you. They're signals guiding you towards understanding yourself better. But why is this so important? Because recognizing your emotions is the first step to managing them effectively. It's the first step towards harnessing the power of your emotions, towards turning them into your allies rather than your foes. Recognizing your feelings is the key to unlocking the power of your emotions. Scene script. Once you've identified your emotions, how do you respond to them? The next step is to embrace those emotions, to accept them. Each emotion, whether joy or sorrow, anger or fear, is a part of you. They are not invaders to be expelled, but rather messengers waiting to be heard. Bottling up your emotions, suppressing them, is like trying to hold back the tide. Sooner or later they will surge forth, often with an intensity that can be overwhelming. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. On the contrary, it can amplify them. Unexpressed anger may turn into resentment, while suppressed sadness can morph into depression. It's like putting a lid on a boiling pot. Eventually, the pressure builds up and the pot explodes. So how do we avoid this emotional explosion? By expressing our emotions in a healthy manner. It's not about venting or lashing out, but about communicating our feelings respectfully and effectively. It's about saying, I feel hurt instead of you are mean, or I'm worried instead of you never listen to me. It's about sharing your feelings without blaming others, without making them the villains of your emotional story. Expressing your emotions is not only beneficial for your mental health, but also for your relationships. It fosters a deeper understanding between you and the people around you. It creates a space for empathy, compassion, and connection. It allows others to see your vulnerability, and in doing so makes you more relatable, more human. There are many ways to express your emotions healthily. Some people find solace in writing, others in painting or playing a musical instrument. You might prefer to talk to a friend or seek professional help. It's about finding a method that suits you, that allows you to externalize your internal world. Remember, accepting and expressing your emotions doesn't mean being ruled by them. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, and then expressing them in a way that is beneficial to you and your relationships. It's about creating a dialogue, not a monologue, with your emotions. Accepting and expressing your emotions is a powerful step towards emotional freedom. How do you maintain control when your emotions are in the driver's seat? It's a question we've all asked ourselves at one point or another. In this segment, we're diving headfirst into the world of emotion regulation. Emotion regulation is not about suppressing or ignoring your feelings, quite the opposite, in fact. It's about understanding them, acknowledging them, and then deciding how they influence your actions. Imagine your emotions as a team of wild horses. They're powerful, they're untamed, and they can either trample everything in their path or carry you to great heights. The key is learning to harness that power rather than letting it run wild. One of the first steps in regulating your emotions is simply being aware of them. This might sound straightforward, but it's surprisingly easy to let our feelings take the reins without even realizing it. So the next time you feel a strong emotion coming on, take a moment to acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I'm feeling angry or I'm feeling sad. By naming the emotion, you're taking the first step in controlling it. Next, consider the situation that's causing the emotion. Is it something within your control? If so, think about what actions you can take to change the situation. If it's beyond your control, consider how you can adjust your perspective or response to it. Another key aspect of emotion regulation is learning to tolerate discomfort. This means allowing yourself to feel negative emotions without immediately trying to make them go away. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or anxious. These feelings are a part of life, and it's important to let yourself experience them fully. Finally, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you're struggling with difficult emotions. Remember, it's okay to not be okay all the time. We're all human, and we all have our ups and downs. Regulating your emotions gives you the power to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and poise. It may not be easy, but with practice, it can become a powerful tool in your emotional toolkit. Now, how can you harness the power of your emotions for your benefit? Well, let's dive right into it. Emotions, when understood, identified, accepted, expressed, and regulated, can become potent catalysts for personal growth. They are the raw material of human experience, and by harnessing their power, we can transform our lives. Imagine your emotions as a river. When it's out of control, it can be destructive. But when you learn how to navigate it, the river can take you to places you've never been before. The same concept applies to your emotions. Understanding your emotions gives you an insight into your internal world. Identifying them allows you to acknowledge their presence. Accepting and expressing your emotions gives them a healthy outlet, preventing any emotional backlog. Finally, regulating them ensures they don't overpower you, but rather empower you. So remember this, emotions are not your enemies. They are your allies. And when harnessed correctly, they can unlock your potential and pave the way to success. Harnessing the power of your emotions can turn them from overwhelming forces into powerful tools for success. To wrap it all up, let's summarize what we've learned about emotions. Emotions, these compelling forces within us, have immense power. They are not mere reactions, but rather unique personal experiences that color our world, guiding our decisions and shaping our personalities. We've delved into the importance of identifying our emotions, of acknowledging them without judgment. This is the first step towards emotional wisdom, towards understanding ourselves better. Next, we've discussed the significance of accepting these emotions, expressing them in a healthy manner. It is by embracing our feelings we allow ourselves to experience the full spectrum of human emotions. Moreover, we've touched on the vital role of regulating our emotions. It's not about suppression, but about finding a balance, a control that allows us to respond rather than react. Lastly, we've explored harnessing the power of our emotions, using them as catalysts for personal growth and transformation. Embrace your emotions, for they are the powerful tools that shape your life.